Hi, I'm Scott Wrighton. I serve as Decatur City Manager, and every week we bring you a little update about what's going on with your city government. It's May and spring is here, and that means that we are already well into the Public Works' season of making water and sewer and especially road improvements. Many of you may have already seen the Public Works Department already beginning asphalting some of our local streets. The number of streets we're going to be working on this year is going to be increasing. We have a little bit more money to work with this year, and in addition to that, through several years of coordinated efforts with the Illinois Department of Transportation, several projects that are on state right-of-ways have already started or are likely to start. In the aggregate, these projects are going to create some delays and a little bit of inconvenience for motorists. We ask that you be patient with us because while there's going to be some short-term inconvenience, in the long term we have better streets, we have better mobility in the city, and less wear and tear on your cars. This spring and into early summer, the Department of Transportation, at our request, will be making improvements to the surface on 51 between Pershing and Eldorado. This is not, I repeat, this is not the total reconstruction and the project that the City Council has been working on now for a couple of years with IDOT that will eventually result in reducing by one the lanes in that section, adding bike lanes, adding lighting, other green space improvements that we had a public hearing on just last month. But because that project is taking too long, the state has finally come to understand that they have to make improvements in the driving surface, which has simply deteriorated too much. So they'll be doing those short-term improvements on the roadway, many of which will stay in place for the larger project to come because even if it's narrower, the roadway will still be there. Highway 36, West Eldorado from Church, which is just one block west of southbound 51, from Church west all the way to Fairview as it goes in front of the entrance to Fairview Park. That's going to be redone this year. That project actually was initiated by the city and the state in 2019, but because of delays in getting right-of-way for some of the handicapped access ramps along the way and some of the other side improvements on the project, it was delayed. And so now that one is proceeding. Last month, at the end of last month, the state opened bids on the replacement of the Reas bridges. They're to the east of Richland Community College, where it crosses Lake Decatur. The county has not yet made a final decision on the award of that project, but they've been working on that project for many, many years, just like the city has been working for many, many years to bring the Brush College Ferries Parkway grade separation to the point that construction can actually begin. The bidding for the Reas Bridges project was in April. We're opening bids on the Ferries Parkway Brush College project in June. And so if those two projects, and this is certainly a possibility, if those two projects, Reas Bridges and the Ferries Parkway separation, are both under construction at the same time, that will certainly create some dislocation and some major detours on the east side of the city, including truck routes that serve some of the industries in that area. We have thought about that, we have planned for that, and once we know more about each contractor's, because both of those are multi-million-dollar projects, once we know more about who the contractors are and what their schedules are going to be, we'll be announcing both to citizens as well as to the affected industries where the detour routes are, where the alternate access points are, so that the inconvenience created by those projects is as minimal as possible. The City Council, at its last City Council meeting, approved a city-state agreement as well, affecting 121 from just west of the Pershing-Oakland intersection. Their University is the light that's just west of that. From that point all the way out to the northwest as you're going towards Warrensburg, past the Love's truck stop and through the I-72 interchange. That entire section of Route 121 is going to be overlaid and some other improvements made to it. The city has to contribute a small portion of the project to upgrade the lights at the University intersection, but other than that, that state project will also be this year. So you can see that there's a lot of projects both on our local routes that the city of Decatur controls, as well as on state routes that are largely under the direction of the Department of Transportation, which I am pleased to say they are coordinating as much as possible with the city of Decatur. Project construction work continues already, and those of you who cross over 51 at the lake regularly have seen this on the milling and overlay section that really begins at about Waits Cleaners and then goes south all the way to the South Macon County line. That project began last year and will be finishing up this year. So please give those workers a little bit of room and understand that you might need to add a couple of minutes to your travel time and how you calculate that for those delays, because I'm absolutely certain when all this work that I've mentioned and more is completed, Decatur will look and drive in a safer and more attractive way. So thank you for your patience as we work through that, and we'll give you more details about these projects as they unfold and maybe even ways to avoid them with certain detours. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for your help and your patience.